Winning Blueprint presents.
5 minutes or less. Minnesota Vikings.
Welcome. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. This is the Minnesota Vikings in 5 minutes or less. Got 5 minutes on the clock. Let's get started. So the high point of the season for the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, it's really simple. This one is as easy as it gets. Week 17, 37-34 victory over the Green Bay Packers. It was a classic. It was all on the line for the Minnesota Vikings. Win and you're in, lose and you go home. They knew what was at stake. They had to have it, and they were able to get it, making it to the postseason because of this victory over one of their hated rivals in the division, the Green Bay Packers. Not only did they clinch a playoff berth by winning this game, but the Vikings also stopped the Packers from getting home field advantage and that second seed in the NFC. So they did double damage, getting in themselves and stopping the Packers from achieving a goal. And so what a huge, monumental win it was for the Minnesota Vikings. Came at a cost, though. Lost their quarterback for the postseason, but it gave them a chance. And that's all you ask for in the National Football League is a chance. And they got a chance by getting into the postseason and winning in Week 17. So the low point of the season for the Minnesota Vikings. The low point of the season, and it's more of a disappointing moment, more so than just a moment of despair and you're at the lowest point of your season. It's more of a disappointment because you never really got a chance. And I'm referring to the wild card weekend matchup versus the Green Bay Packers. You go into it without your gun fully loaded. You don't have your quarterback, your starting quarterback, Christian Ponder. He hurt himself in that Week 17 matchup against these very same Packers. Couldn't go, hurt his elbow, and so you had to go in with Joe Webb, which meant, translation, you didn't stand a chance. And so you lose the game, never really having a shot in this game. And it's disappointing because you didn't get a chance to see if you could actually make some noise in the postseason. Free agency activity for the Minnesota Vikings. This team needs talent in the worst way. So aggressive is what the Vikings need to be in terms of free agency. Be aggressive. This team was held together in the 2012 season by Adrian Peterson, the offensive line, a sticky pad, a thumbtack, and a piece of Bazooka Joe gum. You need talent. And with your cap situation being as healthy as it is, you've got about $16 million of cap space to work with. And really no imminent free agents that you have to worry about other than Jamaica Sanford. And if you want to call these guys imminent free agents to have back, Jerome Simpson, by all means, sign them back. But you've got money to go out there and spend and get some talent. This team needs an infusion of talent. Not just from free agency, but the draft as well. But it starts with free agency. Go out and get some players in free agency. You could use them greatly. Be aggressive. State of the fan base. And for the Minnesota Vikings, it's cautious optimism. Because you made it to the postseason, so there's optimism right off the bat. You've got something to hang your hat on. You know that this team can do it if they play at their best. So you know that they can play with the big boys. You beat the 49ers last season. You beat the Packers. You beat some really good quality opponents in the 2012 season. So you know you can play with some of the better teams in the league. So now you need consistency. You gave your head coach a contract extension in Leslie Frazier. Now you need to see him continue to work with this team and get better. The big question mark for you is, what is Christian Ponder? Can you get him some talent, surround him with guys he can get the football to, and really see what he can do? Because if he's the guy that you think he is, there's a future in Minnesota. If he's not, you have to start all over from scratch. And Adrian Peterson cannot be what he was last season every single year. You need help. And you hear that sound in the background, that means that was the Minnesota Vikings in 5 minutes or less.
Minnesota Vikings, 5 minutes or less.